All right, joining us now, she is the reigning Sunbelt Pitcher of the Year, the ace for the South Alabama Jaguars. Of course, coming off getting ready to start out Sunbelt play. I speak of Olivia Lackie, a three-time All-Region pitcher and one of the best in the country. Joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. How has the season gone for you so far, in your opinion, to this point?
I think it's been pretty well for just the whole team in general. Like we've come out hot, and for the most part, we've stayed hot. So I think that's really awesome for us, and I just hope that that continues going forward.
You've got some marquee wins already this season. Uh, Talk about last year. You were one of the first four out. How much has that motivated the returners in this group this year?
I think it's motivated us a lot just because, we kind of took that personally. Notre Dame being picked over us was obviously heartbreaking for our seniors and, everyone since we were on that bubble. We really wanted in and it didn't work out for us. So this year, I think we've just used it as like a motivating factor, I guess, to not be in that position. So.
You mentioned Notre Dame. You beat them in NFCA. Was that in the back of some of your players' mind there?
100% it was. I think we kind of took that game a little personally, because they were picked over us. So we were like, oh, well, if we beat them, that won't happen again. So,
Well, as Coach Clark has challenged you all, tremendous schedule, but you've got quality wins: Notre Dame, South Carolina, Alabama, which we'll talk about, and then of course the most recent one, Arkansas, there in at Bogle. Just talk about some of those marquee wins and giving you that confidence.
I think those key wins are great for us as a team because they kind of give us like that confidence moving forward that we can compete with some of the best teams in the nation. And it's not so much as like I guess the key wins as it is just like knowing that we like can be that team that is like a top 25 competitive team. Like I think that's what's really important to us. So
You are a three-time All-Region pitcher, a player. Really, you're only one of two players in the history of the program to be a three-time All-Region, and of course, the other one is you know very well, Hannah Campbell. Uh, just tell me about that, being in the same breath there with Hannah Campbell and accomplishing the things you're doing for the program.
I mean, that's a huge honor in itself because if you know anything about Hannah Campbell and her career, I mean, she was amazing, lights out pitcher. And to think that like I'm even in the same, I guess, comparison with her from when she played is just like a huge honor. And it's just like amazing to me to just like be able to be compared to her. So
Let's talk a little bit about you. What got you into playing softball?
I got into playing softball when I was probably 7, 8 years old, and I started playing actually because my mom played when she was younger, and she put me in a bunch of different sports. I tried soccer, softball, cheer. I tried basketball. None of them really worked out, and the only one I really stuck with was softball, and I just fell in love with it from the beginning, and here we are.
I think that was a good decision. I think that worked out. How'd you end up at South Alabama?
So, I was being recruited by a couple different schools, but whenever I was going through my recruitment process, my mom always told me, like, who do you look for in the stands, whenever like I'm playing, and my answer was always Coach Campbell and Coach Clark. And one of the big reasons that they drew me in is just like they're blue collar people, like they're hard workers. They give it to you as it is. There's no sugarcoating anything. They're like some of the best people I've ever met in the softball world. And like, that's just really what drew me in. Plus, the campus is absolutely amazing. Like, it's not too big and it's not too small. So I really love it here.
Pretty well. You end up going there, and I think people started noticing your breakout performance was in 2021 when you beat Alabama in a national televised game. What do you remember about that game? Because that put you on the map.
What I remember about that game specifically was like just the end, like the final out, and being really excited, like, holy crap, we just did that. And like the after, like just being with my teammates and like celebrating that win together was just like huge because like I think the year before was COVID, so they didn't get to play that out. And then like just afterwards it was like wow, we are like we can be that good. Like we just did that. So it was just a really great feeling. That's what I remember.
Was one of your marquee wins. You beat Georgia that year. You got to the NCAA tournament. You played in the Gainesville regional. What do you remember about that experience, making the tournament and playing in Gainesville?
I remember being like super excited whenever we figured out that we were going to the Gainesville Regional because it was just like, wow, like I'm going postseason like to the big tournament. Like this is a road to Oklahoma. And I remember going to the Gainesville Regional and I just wanted to like compete and give my team like the best chance possible to win. And we did end up coming short against, I want to say it was Florida and South Florida, which those were two really great teams at the time too. But we definitely competed and gave our seniors the best chance we could to go as far as we could.
You beat Baylor in that one, didn't you? In that region,
Yes.
yeah. So you got an elimination game. You beat Baylor there, and of course, South Florida had Georgina Korek, who's now playing internationally. I mean, that was a stacked regional.
Yes, it was a very good regional, and she's a great pitcher. So all the props to her. Like she did amazing that game. I do remember that.
Describe the Sun Belt because when a league has always been known for the great depth in pitching this era. You, Jessica Mullins, the Louisiana pitchers. Just describe what's it like to compete in this league.
I think the Sun Belt doesn't get as much attention as it should. The We play a lot of very competitive teams in the Sun Belt, and like, of course, it's always a dogfight with Texas State and Jessica Mullins. It's always a dogfight with ULL and their pitching staff. I mean, last year they had Sam Landry. I can't remember their names right now, but they had two really good pitchers along with Sam Landry. And then yeah, it's always like competing, sorry. Like it's not easy. Definitely not easy. So
Well, you had Johnson at Troy during that time period
yes,
too,
yeah,
right? That was
yes,
it was like a good fun sports debate, like who was the best pitcher in the league
yeah.
every week it seemed like. And you got to earn that last year, winning the Pitcher of the Year award in the Sun Belt. You're the first South Alabama pitcher ever to win Pitcher of the Year. Do you remember when you found out you won that award?
I do remember we were on the bus actually going to play. I don't remember where, but we were going to play somewhere and they were like, "Liv, did you know like you won pitcher of the year?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like I had no idea. And on top of that, I had no clue that I was the first to ever win it. Like I thought Hannah Campbell had won it.
Right?
I mean, I was just absolutely shocked because she was an amazing player and so was Devin Brown. So I was just like, wow, like that's really shocking and it's a huge honor. So
Is it extra? Does it mean a little extra considering the great pitchers in this league? Like it's not easy to win a Pitcher of the Year in this conference in particular with all the names we've talked about.
yeah, it definitely means a little extra just because I know like how awesome a lot of the pitchers are in this conference. Like you mentioned, Johnson was really good. Mullins is really good. Sam Landry was really good. So yeah, I think it just really means a lot.
No, no doubt. That's going to be very good. I'm going to read off some of your marquee wins. I'm curious, which one do you like the most? Obviously, you have Alabama win in 21. You also have a win over Alabama 24. You doubled up on them. That was very cute. You got at Auburn 2023. You won there. You won at Mississippi State 2022. You've beaten Notre Dame, South Carolina, Arkansas. You've beaten this year. Of all those great wins you've had, which one's your favorite?
I think if I had to pick a favorite, it was probably Alabama in 2021, just because like I just remember that game like so clearly. Like afterwards, I went up to my mom and like she just told me how proud she was of me and like that she always knew I could do it. And like it was just a really special moment. And like with them being the number two team in the nation, like it was just an incredible feeling. Like I was like riding on a high. So it was awesome.
Does that give you confidence as like, hey, I can compete at this highest level?
Oh, 100% it did. Going into that game, I was really nervous. I'm not I was extremely nervous. I still remember that. And like I just after that game I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I can compete with the best of the best. So,
That's pretty good. I like that. What are your plans post softball?
I'm actually going to vet school at the University of LSU.
Oh, what led you
Yes.
to that interest?
So I've always wanted to be a vet since I was young. Like it's the only thing I've ever really seen myself doing. And so everything I've done up to this point has been to prepare myself to get into vet school, and I applied to LSU, and here I am.
Are they like one of the best vet schools in the country? Is that what interests you to go there?
Well, that and they're close to home. They're only about 30 minutes from home, so.
30 minutes.
Mm.
Wow. That's pretty good. Did you have a favorite athlete growing up?
Um, I don't think I did. No, yes, I did. It was Trina at Alabama. I loved
Jackie the
watching.
J Train.
Yes, yes, I loved watching Trina at Alabama.
That's funny. Have you seen her picture when you played it out and beat Alabama there? Did you
Yes, I actually, for the longest time, my parents dogged on me because I was a huge Alabama fan, and they were like, "You're supposed to be a Tigers fan. You're supposed to like LSU," and I'm like, "Well, I like Alabama." So it was a funny thing. I had a sweatshirt from Alabama, and they always bullied me for it. So
That's funny. By the way, I think the other pitcher we're thinking about is Megan Shorman. That's the other Louisiana pitcher I think we were
yes,
thinking.
yes,
Megan
Megan
Shorman.
Shorman.
It just popped in my head. Don't worry. It was like there's too many. There's a lot of them, but it speaks to the
Yes.
accomplishment that you've had. Let's talk about the rest of your team. Who are some players that you think are under the radar that people should kind of pay attention to as part of your success this year?
Um, Gabby Stagner for sure. She's a great player. Odalis Cordova, Mackenzie Brasher, Olivia Brandstetter is great at third base. Like Marley Sims at shortstop. All of our players bring something unique to the table that makes us who we are. So they're all a key part to our success.
You're going to open conference play against Louisiana. I'm hearing that's going to be sold out Friday night. Pretty big deal. What describe that? What you envision that atmosphere being like?
I think it's definitely going to be interesting atmosphere for sure. I can't say that I've ever played a game at our home field that's been completely sold out. So I think this is going to be something new for all of us, but at the same time, it's going to be really motivating because we have a lot of people there that are going to be there supporting us. So I think that's going to be a really awesome feeling.
Describe playing for Coach Becky Clark.
She's very she can be very hard at times, but at the same time, she like cares for you and she has your best interests at heart as a person as well as a player. And I think that's what I really enjoy most about playing for her is that it's not just about softball. It's about bettering you as a person as well. So like playing for her has been a very good experience because it's made me grow as a person, not just as a player or an athlete. So playing for her is great.
I'm curious if there's a bond within the league about you mentioned earlier about getting not getting the respect that you think you deserve, considering the quality of the league. You look at a Louisiana beating an Oklahoma, Texas State with a big wins, beating Arizona State, you with the big wins that you've got over Arkansas and Alabama. Do you all, in a way, kind of look the other side like, all right, I hope you beat them before we play each other, but let's represent us, the league, very well.
I think so. I mean, I remember when ULL was playing Oklahoma just like a week ago. Whenever we were all on the bus, we all had the game pulled up and we were rooting for ULL. And, they're one of our biggest rivals in the league, but we're like, come on, you guys got this. You can beat them because, it's about bettering the league as a whole. Like if they win against Oklahoma, I mean, that looks great for everybody in the league. So we definitely cheer for them.
When you get matched up against great pitchers like a Jessica Mullins, is that something that's in your mind as you're playing the game? Do you block that off because you're facing the hitters? What's your mindset when you know you're facing the other team's best pitcher? Because you get assigned that a lot.
I don't really think it's something I think about. Like whenever I go out on the field, I just like focus on like making the best pitch I can and taking everything one pitch at a time. And I'm sure that's what they think about as well. So I don't really consider like the other team or like how good the other pitcher is until after the game.
When your career is done, whenever that is, here, what do you want people to say about you when they talk about Olivia Lackie and the impact she's made at South Alabama? When they talk about you, say 5 years from now.
Well, I'd hope they would want me to say that I was a quality, like a quality player, a good person, a good teammate, a leader within the team. I like I like for that to be what people would say about me. So
You're very good.
uh,
That's very low key there. I think that's what goes without saying. I think people are going to start comparing you to the next whoever the next great pitcher is at South Alabama is going to be compared to you now. You realize that now.
well, now that you mention it, I do. 'Cause, I mean, while I'm here, it's just, I think Hannah Campbell will always be considered like just the top tier pitcher. Like she was just amazing. So I can't imagine that. It's hard for me to imagine that I would be compared to the next great pitcher, which I'm sure will come considering our history of pitchers at South. So,
What's been the dialogues when you talk to Hannah Campbell?
she's a very sweet, kind, quiet person. So, most of the time it's just like, we just have down to earth chats. She's not very like, louder in your face or anything. So,
What's going to be the keys for your team to be successful now when you get the Sun Belt play?
I think working together as a team, communicating, taking everything one pitch at a time, gritting, like digging in and fighting every single pitch, winning every single pitch, and winning at bats is going to be key moving forward.
Well, we wish you well as you get going on conference play, and I promise you, if the next great South Alabama pitcher comes around and I happen to interview him, I'm going to be asking him like, "What's it like to be compared to Olivia Lackie?" That's it. You've set the new standard bar. With all respect to Hannah Campbell, you've been remarkable throughout your career. You've been a pleasure to watch, and I'm really pleased to get the chance to talk to you. Congrats on the success you've had to this point, but good luck the rest of the way. I know you got a lot more you want to accomplish, but thanks for taking the time from the busy schedule to talk to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for interviewing me.